Today we're going to do an unboxing of the mBot Mega by Makeblock. We'll show you what comes in the kit, and then we'll put it all together and drive the robot for the very first time. If you stick around until the end, I'll give you a few thoughts about how the assembly went and some general thoughts about the robot. So the mBot Mega came in this pretty nice box. It came inside of another box for shipping, but I took it out of that one. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what we have. So we get 3 boxes, the quick start guide, and our line following track. Okay, so we've gone ahead and opened all the packaging, and I've laid them out, and we'll go through what you get out of the box. So on the left hand side, we have our main body shell. This is the upper shell, which kind of covers everything. These are the motor brackets that will hold the motors in place. And then we have a couple other brackets here. This is the battery holder for our batteries, and we have 4 Mecanum wheels. We'll go through the difference between Mecanum wheels and regular wheels a little bit later in the video. Then we have some mounting hardware, some standoffs, some screws, some nuts, etc. In terms of the electronics, we have 4 motors, and then 2 motor driver and encoder circuits here. We have 4 obstacle avoidance circuits, which are infrared circuitry. We have 2 line follower circuits, which again are infrared. We have 2 bump sensors or collision sensors, which are basically just switches to let you know that you've hit something. And we have 2 RGB LED circuits. Down here we have the main microcontroller and a bunch of connections to make everything connected. And then we have a Bluetooth module which has already been installed. Then of course we have a USB cable for programming, some wires to make everything connect up, and then they gave us the screwdriver to be able to make all the connections, which is double-sided, has a Phillips head on one side and then a hex on the other side. And here we have the fully assembled robot. So I really like the front with the face. We have the RGB LEDs on the bottom, our bump switches on the back, collision sensors, line following sensors up in front. We have our 3 collision detection sensors, so infrared. The board is underneath the top shield, and then our battery holder is in the middle here. Overall, pretty solid robot, very compact. Getting the battery holder in and out is a little bit tricky, and I'd probably want to use the rechargeable lithium battery that you can get as an option, just so you don't have to keep replacing the batteries. Let's talk about Mecanum Wheels for a second. So as you can see, this robot comes with these funky looking wheels that have these black rollers all around the outside of the wheel that are angled on the wheel itself, and then have a slight curvature so that you still maintain that regular wheel shape. And what these wheels let us do is it lets the robot move in many more directions than normal wheels would allow. So this becomes an omnidirectional robot. So before we can kind of describe how that works, let's take a step back. So there are a couple ways that your vehicle can move. Your car is what we call an Ackerman steer. So there's a steering column that lets the wheels turn. and then you kind of drive forward and backwards along that arc. Then the other way you can turn, which this vehicle is a skid steer or differential steer vehicle, where you don't have a steering column. So the way you turn is by turning one side of the vehicle, the wheels on one side, and either leaving the other side not turning, or turn them in the opposite direction. So we turn the left and we don't turn the right, then the vehicle will make this kind of arcing motion. All right, this is fixed. We turn, we'll kind of do that. If I turn the right side backwards while I'm moving the left side forward, then you kind of get this zero radius turn, ideally. And that's what would happen. But we can't move in a diagonal direction, and we can't move left and right directly. Well, Mecanum Wheels let that happen. So by selecting the direction of different wheels, we can actually cause the vehicle to move in a diagonal directions or left and right in a strafing type motion. And that's because of these block rollers. Depending again on which wheels we turn and the direction we turn them, it allows us to get that movement, which we wouldn't normally get on an Ackerman steer or typical skid steer vehicle. One of the nice things about the mBot Mega is that you can download an app to your phone on both Android and iOS that will let you play with it right out of the box. Once you open the app, you will get this screen. If you click on play, you can drive it manually, put it in obstacle avoidance mode, or line following mode. You can also click on code, which open up a separate application, which will allow you to program the mBot Mega using a graphical programming tool. The first thing you have to do is connect to the robot by clicking on the Bluetooth icon in the top right corner and bringing your phone close to the robot. The robot will then connect to your phone, allowing you to control it. Then you click on play and select drive mode to manually drive the robot. As you can see, there's a fair amount of assembly required, but the instructions are good and there are lots of diagrams to follow along with. I did get a little bit confused somewhere in the middle, but upon closer inspection of the diagrams, I was able to figure it out. The wiring is all color-coded, which went a long way to ensuring that I was making the right connections. This was a much easier process than when I connected the VM rover. The battery holder is a little bit tight of a fit, but you get a really compact robot. I'm a little bit concerned about taking that in and out in order to change the batteries, but we'll see how it goes. Overall, at around $100, this is a great kit for everyone, both kids and adults. The ability to drive the robot using your phone and have that work right out of the box is a really cool feature. However, if you want to program it, there are multiple ways you can do that. There's the graphical programming tool that's provided by Makeblock, or you can use Arduino IDE and that ecosystem. You also are supposed to be able to connect a Raspberry Pi or some other single board computer to the main board and control it that way. And that will allow you to do some more complex tasks. I'm not 100% sure about how that works, but I'm excited to try that in a future video. That's it for now. Talk to you soon. Later.